Let's get some insight into what all this means for Iraq. We're joined by Jason Stanford in Austin, Texas. He's a partner with the Truman National Security Project and National Security Leadership Institute based here in Washington. So Jason, you heard what Ryan said. He said Prime Minister al-Maliki is not giving up. He's basically saying, I'm not going anywhere and I'm going to continue to be the Prime Minister. How big of a problem is that for a country in crisis?
Well, he is a duly elected prime minister. The question is whether or not he's willing to reform the government there. What they clearly need to do is make space in the Iraqi government, not just for the Shiites, but also for the Sunnis and possibly the Kurds if they can keep them in Iraq. The big development now is Kurdistan making a move for independence.
So let's talk about Kurdistan making that move. Do they see this as the perfect opportunity to have their own state, which is in a relatively stable and profitable area?
Sure, and I don't think anyone can call this a perfect opportunity, but it is an opportunity, and they do have a good chance for it. They do have the industry and commerce and clearly the national will to be independent. The question is whether or not they can find some stability in the rest of Iraq. Kurdistan cannot be independent with the Iraqi government as it is now organized, and they can't be independent if ISIL takes over the rest of Iraq. That is a big problem for that country and also for American foreign national security interests.
So the Iraqi government says it has retaken Saddam Hussein's home village overnight. It's south of Tikrit. Do you think the Iraqi army is turning the tide here? Will they be able to capture all that territory seized by ISIS, which now calls itself the Islamic State?
Well, clearly, I don't think either of us can tell you that, but it's nice to see them fighting back. I know that right now they're trying to take back Tikrit. The real worry is that Baghdad could fall because that is in a Shiite majority area and, of course, the national capital. If that happens, then I don't know if Baghdad is exactly the domino that needs to fall, but if it gets much worse, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff here has said that direct military intervention against ISIL might be necessary, and that is something that I'm not sure America has the national will for right now.
When I was talking to a couple of other experts earlier in the week, they were very skeptical whether Baghdad could be next because the majority of the people in Baghdad are actually Shiites and they don't want Sunni insurgents taking over their city. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, and that is where the battle will be. But clearly, ISIL is a determined and malicious army. I mean, they're not really an army. They're a bunch of terrorists who occupy an amount of area the size of Maryland. And this is a new post-Al-Qaeda enemy. These guys are so radical, Al-Qaeda kicked them out. So I'm not sure we can count them out, but I know that we can count on Baghdad to try to defend itself.
Jason, and finally, I have to ask you about ISIS. They seem to have a lot of manpower. They have a lot of weapons. Where are they getting their money from?
Well, a lot of it is what they're capturing. They've captured a lot of American money over there. They've captured a lot of foreign aid. Just last night, I think they captured a very big oil field in northern Syria. So there are a lot of assets over there they can command.
Jason Stanford in Austin, Texas. Thank you so much, sir.